The culprit behind much of the damage caused by the COVID-19 infection.
As a patient
treating long COVID.
that existed well before this pandemic occurred.
My name is Jen Dillon, and I am a researcher, formulator, and homeopath. In the spring of 2021, I formulated a non-traditional homeopathic protocol, and it was intended to help with the COVID outbreak at the time. And in the spring of 21, I met a local PharmD from my community that expressed an interest in trying my formula, which led to a case study. In the beginning, I was donating hundreds of kits to practitioners to try my protocol. And at this point in time, now I have practitioners paying me for the protocol to be formulated to support the work. And now we also have a distributor for the protocol. I'm going to start with a brief PowerPoint just to kind of go over the protocol and what led to this research. So we will go to my agenda here today, and that's a problem that there's several published papers now, including a total of 300 that we've accumulated referring to the spike protein essentially disrupting all of the major organs in the body and causing overall inflammation in the body, leading to all kinds of issues. That's the problem. The spike protein is also being referred to as highly pathogenic.
I did eventually get COVID, and that COVID was in June of 2022. And I did the usual preliminary protocols with ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, steroids, vitamin D, the usual that you all know about. And I did well for 6 months until I had a great emotional event in 2023 in January, which I just went flat on my face for a few days with a lot of fatigue and wound up needing tons and tons and tons of vitamins. And I'm like, what's going on here? And I wound up trying to look for answers just like any other patient did. Dr. Vaughn of Alabama, who was mimicking the work of Pretorius, PhD, about microclots. So as you know, long COVID is an inflammatory problem, which we're here to talk about, but it also, part of the inflammation creates something called microclots. And so I went to get specialized microscopic studies to show that my capillaries did have that. I went on a protocol for 3 weeks to try to get that away from myself and not need as many vitamins because I was very, very fatigued constantly. So I was trying many, many things. And nothing stuck. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing stuck.
So Jen gave me her detox protocol. I didn't know much about it. In fact, I was quite intrigued because it was little pellets that I'm just like, there's no way this stuff is going to work. And it had 4 parts to it. And I remember my very first case where I tried it on the patient. I had a cardiologist friend of mine that I was talking to him about non-traditional treatments for long COVID. And I'd mentioned this homeopathic detox protocol. He didn't know a lot about it. And I said, well, if you got a patient, let's try it. So my first patient was a 30-year-old male on probably 9 antihypertensives, blood clotting, couldn't control his blood pressure. And the cardiologist said, I think this is long COVID, go see Scott Porter. So he came in, I'm just like, hey, I want to try the protocol on you. Because he'd been trying everything else. He was on blood thinners, everything else. So I gave him the protocol, and he took it. And every week I was checking in, he said, yeah, I'm getting better. My blood pressure is normalizing. I don't need to be on any antiplatelet drugs. And then after a month, all his symptoms were good. He was off all his cardiovascular medications, didn't have to take anticoagulation therapy. and he returned back to work. Then